This is the third CATS math video, and today we're focusing on solving inequalities and graphing their solutions, and also solving absolute value equations. So here we have negative 6 plus c divided by 4 is greater than or equal to negative 8. So I'm going to multiply to get rid of that 4. Negative 6 plus c is greater than or equal to negative 32. And then add to get rid of the negative 6. So we have c is greater than or equal to negative 26. So I'm going to draw my number line, and since c is greater than or equal to negative 26, we're going to start with a negative 26 down here, and then over here, let's just call this 0. So we start here, and it includes the negative 26 because it's or equal to, and it's greater than, so it's going up to the bigger numbers. Here we have r divided by 3 minus 12 is less than negative 4. So we can get rid of that 12. R over 3 is less than 8. So then we can multiply to get rid of the 3. R is less than 24. So now we have r is less than 24. So my number line is going to have like 24 over here and 0 here. And we know that it's less than 24, and it doesn't include 24. So right at 24, it's got a hole, right? That's not a filled in circle, it's a hole. And it goes this way. So r is less than 24. Okay, so here we have multiple v's. So we're going to multiply so we can combine our like terms. So 6v minus 18 plus v is greater than or equal to negative 24. So combining my like terms, I end up with 7v is less than or greater than or equal to, I'm adding 18, so I didn't write that down, plus 18. So that difference is 6. So dividing by 7, you get v is greater than or equal to 6/7. So the number line for that, we have a greater than or equal to, so we're going to start it at that number. So we'll call this over here like 1. And so here is, we'll call this 6/7, and right here is 1. And then our number line can go to, I don't know, whatever. Here's 20. So it's greater than or equal to, so it's a solid dot, right? It's not a hole, it's a dot because it includes it. And it's greater than that number or equal to it. So here again, we need to multiply. So we have 208 is greater than or equal to 4x minus 4. I just distributed that guy in. And then we can add 4 to both sides. So 212 is greater than or equal to 4x. And then we divide by the 4, and you get x is equal to 50. Not equal. Greater than or equal to 53. Would be equal to 53. And so since we have a greater than or equal to, it's greater than, so we can start out at that number. And just so you see, like, in case you were curious what a number line looks like with more down there. Oops, that should have been 50. So then let's call this over here 60. So 53 is included, so it's a solid dot, and it could be greater than 53. So greater than or equal to 53. Oops, sorry. So now we have a couple different things we need to do. Let's multiply so we can combine like terms. So it looks like I have a 9 minus 2k is greater than 89. So we're going to minus negative 2k is greater than 80. Now this is an important step here. We're going to divide by this negative 2. And when you divide by a negative number, the sign flips. So I'm just going to take that guy and I'm going to flip it right over. So k is now less than negative 40. So just to reiterate, if you're dividing or multiplying by a negative number, that sign flips. So this guy was a greater than, and we multiplied by a negative, or we divided by a negative, so it flipped over into a less than. So on the number line, we've got k is less than negative 40. So less than means that your number is going to be over here. So here's negative 40. And let's call this negative, I don't know, 50. Sounds good. And so it doesn't include negative 40. So you've got a whole. And it's less than. So k is less than negative 40. Here again, we need to do some math to combine terms. So we have plus 6m. So negative 38 is less than or equal to 9m minus 2. Get rid of that 2. Negative 36 is less than or equal to 9m. Divide by the 9, and it's positive, so the sign stays the same. We end up with m is, well, okay, you end up with negative 4 is less than or equal to m. So to write that in a way that I prefer, we can say m is greater than or equal to negative 4. So if we're doing a greater than, we're going to put that number down at the end, the left side of the number line. So here's negative 4. There's 0. Here's positive 4. So it includes negative 4, so a solid dot, and then is greater than. So m is greater than or equal to negative 4. Okay, the last one of this kind, we're going to have to do some math to combine like terms. So here we have 36 minus 12j minus 8j is less than 6 plus 10j. So combining like terms, I've got negative 20j on this side. And now I want to put everything on the same side. So so that I can show you dividing by a negative again, let's go ahead and minus this 10j. And we're going to minus the 36 and move it over to this side as well. So we end up with negative 30j is less than negative 30. Dividing by a negative 30. So that's going to flip your sign. So you end up with j is greater than 1. So just so you can see it again, we've got a negative 30j is less than negative 30. I divide by the negative, and that flips my sign. So now I've got j is greater than 1. Now the number line, it's going to look like we can start 1 to the left because it's greater than. So there's 1 here. Here's like, I don't know, 14. And it doesn't include the one there's no, equal to right here. So it's going to be an open dot. So j is greater than 1. Now we're going to do some absolute value problems. So with absolute value equations, when you solve them, you end up with two answers, or you end up with x is this or this. So for the first equation, to set it up, you have negative 6x equals 30. And then you have, I'll write right here, negative 6x equals negative 30. So we're going to divide by the negative 6 in both cases. So here you get x is equal to negative 5. And on this side, you get x is equal to 5. So our answer is this or this. X is negative 5 or 5. On this next equation, we're going to set it up again. So you've got k minus 5 equals 15. And then because it's absolute value, we also need to do k minus 5 is equal to negative 15. We're going to add the 5 to both sides. K is equal to 20. And here we'll add the 5 to both sides. K is equal to negative 10. And so your answer is k is equal to 20 or k is equal to negative 10. So let's try this next one here. Again, set it up. M plus 3 equals 9 or m plus 3 equals negative 9. So we're going to go ahead and just minus that 3. M equals 6. Minus the 3, minus the 3, m equals negative 12. So you have m equals 6 or m equals negative 12. And then on this last one here, we've got negative 55j is equal to 110 or negative 55j is equal to negative 110. Divide by the negative 55. J is equal to negative 2. Here we divide by that negative 55. J is equal to 2. So in this case, you have J equals negative 2 or J equals 2. And you can plug them in to check your answer. So in here, we've got negative 5 or 5. Well, if I plug in negative 5, negative 6 times negative 5 equals 30. And the absolute value of a positive number is just that number. And then negative 6 times 5 equals negative 30. And the absolute value of a negative number is a positive number. Every time you take the absolute value, you end up with a positive number. So if we check these ones, 20 minus 5 equals 15. Oh, sorry. Equals positive 15. And so that's just 15. And then we have 10. We have negative 10 minus 5 equals negative 15. And so that's just a 15. Checking these last two answers, we have 6 plus 3 equals the absolute value of 9, which is just 9. And we have negative 12 plus 3 equals the absolute value of negative 9, which is again just 9. Negative 55 times negative 2 equals positive 110. And negative 55 times positive 2 is equal to negative 110, which is 110. So there you go. If you have any other questions, feel free to email them, text me, comment on the YouTube, whatever you want. Otherwise, I hope you have a good rest of your week.